Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. I got some very disturbing news, and it's just unbelievable what's going on in Ukraine. Let's get into this. This article that I have comes from the Daily Beast, but I have it from another source, which is the new Voice of Ukraine from today, June 27, 2022. And this is the title. Scenes of horror as Putin hits mall with 1,000 people inside. So, he says that Russia fired a series of rockets at a shopping center in Kremenchuk, Ukraine on Monday, raising fears that Russia is stepping up its attacks on civilian structures regardless of the loss of life. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, said Monday there were more than 1,000 civilians inside the shopping mall, and the casualties to come might bring even more shock and horror to Ukrainian people already confronting so much death and destruction as Russia has been waging war in Ukraine for 124 days. And I'm quoting, the number of victims is impossible to imagine, Zelensky said. The mall is on fire, rescuers are fighting the fire. Authorities have reported 11 people killed in the attack so far, according to the chairman of Poltava Oblast, Dmitry Lunin. Anton Garshchenko, an advisor to the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, said they have documented 20 injuries. 20 injured. Now there are some videos available over there, even on Twitter. The walls of the structure were beginning to collapse shortly after the missile struck the building, according to one witness sharing footage from the scene. It says here, it's just the latest example of Russian forces targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure that have no strategic importance to fighting a war with Ukraine. In the early days of the war, Putin attacked a maternity hospital and all that. The Prosecutor General office said Monday that since the outbreak of the war, Russian troops have committed more than 19,700 crimes against Ukraine and its citizens. Moscow has previously claimed that it hasn't been targeting civilians in the war. Well, it says now is the Ministry of Internal Affairs said the incident is a reminder that Ukraine needs more weapons to help confront the massacre, the menace of war with Russia. We need weapons to protect ourselves and modern air defense systems, Gerashchenko said. As some worry that American attention to the war in Ukraine is fading, it's okay, we're going to be all focused on it. The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, Oksana Markarova, said that is a stark reminder, hey, wake up, that the United States and allies can continue to try to punish the Russian government as Putin's forces continue to commit war crimes in Ukraine. And I'm quoting, yet another war crime by Russian murderers in Ukraine is in this cruel war. We all have to stop Russia now. It says that the attack comes just a day after Russian forces launched missile attacks on both Kiev and Kharkiv. Russia carried out approximately 60 strikes over the weekend. So, it says here that earlier this month, Michael Carpenter, U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, told the Daily Beast in an exclusive interview that current U.S. assessment is that Putin still has plans to try taking all of Ukraine. Still has plans. I didn't know he has plans in the first place to take all of Ukraine, but this is news to me. Well, let's see. Obviously, this is reported by the Ukrainians, and they are the first one. Obviously, it was hit. The target was in Ukraine, and the Russians did not say anything yet. Well, what do you think they will say? Do you think they will say, "Yeah, we won it. Yeah, we did it"? No, they will probably deny. They'll probably certainly deny. They wouldn't even say that it was an accident. They would say it wasn't us. That's what they want to say. And then the other side is going to say, "Yeah, it was you." So it's going to be this against this. Now, like in any investigation, or trying to figure out who did what. One of the questions is que bono, who benefits? Who benefits out of this? Well, let's see. I will make a point that Russia would benefit if it kills some civilians, let's say in a mall. How would Russia benefit out of that, killing civilians? Okay, that's the answer. All right, then Russia would only, in my assessment, would only lose if they would do such a thing. Why? Unless they're just crazies, like Hitler. Hitler was an irrational, crazy madman, never logical. Yeah. So then the same thing is going to be here. Well, we don't know. We're just murderers. That's what they are. That's what they do. You don't try to reason because that's what they do. We told you they're criminals. The same thing is tried with other people, and if you look a little bit at their lives, it's none of that. People are still, they could be bad, but still some of them are rational. Nevertheless, okay, so unless we say that the Russians are just criminals and that's what they do and don't try to find a reason, that's going to be probably the explanation, because I don't see any reasons why Russia would do and benefit Russia from killing civilians, unless they just are so hateful towards the Ukrainians and they just wanted to kill civilians. That's it. That's going to be probably the narrative. You'll see. Now let's see if that would somehow benefit Ukraine. All right, let's see the Russians. Let's say Russia struck that because they are like how they are. Well, the first thing, there are some civilians dead. That's not going to benefit those civilians, but it's going to benefit Ukraine greatly in a public relation war and propaganda with Russia. Obviously, did you read that? That America is already like moving away from it. They get cold feet already. They don't want to. They're not that invested. And then the second one, we need modern anti-aircraft and missile whatever defense systems. So they will benefit by what? You're gonna hear all the Westerns who are just scattered at the moment until yesterday and today at G7. It was just Boris Johnson trying to rile people up, and everybody was like thinking like this, everybody being Macron and Olaf Scholz and Draghi. So the thing was collapsing. The tide, even they said, is going down, is changing. We gotta change it. And they said it's an I didn't say extreme moment, but it's like it's in the verge of losing. So obviously I think we're going bad for Ukraine. So this would benefit because this would be a reason for all the guys in the West to say, see, now let's go and do something about it. And that's going to be a reason, you remember the Reichstag fire? What happened? Or the Kristallnacht incident? They riled up people. They got them together. That's what's going to be here. And as when I read it the first time, it was Robert Kennedy in Crimes Against Nature. He wrote a book over there, and over there he mentioned Hermann Göring of Germany, stating that if you have problems, internal problems, just make sure that someone attacks you or point out to someone that attacked you, point out the enemy, and everybody's going to rile up and against that. So since we have so much, people, I don't know, maybe I don't know. This is going to be a good reason for everybody in the West to get together and plan and up and maybe, I don't know, send troops. Already read another article regarding some very interesting developments, and I will make a video on that too. Now, I'm not saying that, how should I put it? I don't want to be so blunt. What the hell? I don't know who shot that, who hit that. I don't know. Could be Russians, could be someone else. Couldn't even be the Ukrainians. Could be someone else. Maybe not Ukrainians. Could be someone else. I don't know. Because they need to rile back. And if we're going to see a unity after this, then the Russians must have made a big mistake. Very big. They didn't even think about it. So I'm waiting to see all the West coming together, upping their support, being all united. The people who had questions or were skeptical will be shamed. Macron, Scholz, and Draghi. Everybody else will see, I told you so. They will be like that. And we'll see what's happening next. What's going to happen next? unless either way, either if Russia will say yes, we did it, even if they say it was an accident, even if they said we didn't do it, the same will happen on the other side. So Ukraine, aside from a mall, shopping mall, and 10 people dead, and how many injured, 20 as of now, only has to benefit from this. I mean, what else could be? What else could be? I don't know who did that. We're going to find out probably never. Maybe in about 20 years. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Or maybe they're going to just say, we did it, and that will clear everything, right? Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.